I'm very passionate about making strength training accessible for everybody. And I've listened to your feedback. A lot of the beginners content out there is not actually beginners content. Most programs start out with push-ups as a beginner exercise or planks as a beginner exercise. But when you're coming from being deconditioned, from being, for example, 40 years old and a lifetime of no exercise, excessive sitting, etc., a push-up's hard. You may not even be able to do a single push-up. A plank is hard. You may only be able to do a plank for a few seconds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you my favorite exercise for getting you on the path to doing full push-ups and planks efficiently, and that's gonna be the wall push-up. Now the wall push-up is going to have you in a plank position, but you're going to be upright, okay? So it is a regression from a full plank. And the thing to keep in mind when it comes to body weight exercise or any exercise, weight is always the heaviest or resistance is always the highest when gravity is pulling directly on the implement or on your body, okay? So when your body's horizontal, that's when gravity is gonna have the biggest impact in a plank, okay? So by elevating the front half of the body, what's happening is we're taking some of the load, transferring it to the feet, and now we're making it where there is less weight being supported by your musculature, making a plank easier, but also less weight being pressed by the upper body, making the push-up easier. The reason I do not suggest starting with knee push-ups is because they do not put you in a plank position. They disengage portions of the anterior kinetic chain or the muscles on the front of your body that you need to strengthen to be able to do full push-ups. So I much prefer starting with wall push-ups and then scaling those in difficulty until you get to full push-ups. I'll help you with that, but let's get right to the demonstration and teach you how to do wall push-ups the right way. For wall push-ups, you're gonna stand facing the wall. Leave about a foot between you and the wall, and then take a step back. So now I may be 2 feet away from the wall. What you're gonna do at this point, you're gonna get in a push-up position. Now a proper push-up position is gonna be hands just outside shoulder width, arms at about 40-45 degrees relative to your torso. You don't want your elbows out wide like this when you're doing push-ups. That's not the right way to do it. What's gonna happen is it's gonna be almost entirely front delts. You're gonna be disengaging the pecs and be increasing your chance of overuse and injury. So don't do that. Do your push-ups properly, hands like this. And what you're gonna do is you're going to lean into the wall, right? And that's gonna be your starting position. Even with the hands in the right position, what's gonna happen is you're going to be pressing with the front delts more than the pecs, which is not what we want. We wanna really engage the pecs. The way you're gonna do that is you're going to take your hands and you're gonna walk them down the wall about 8 inches or so, okay? And then what's gonna happen is you can turn them at 45 if you need to make this movement more comfortable. I do them with my fingertips. Most of you will be able to do this with your fingertips. You can kind of grab onto the wall. What that's gonna do is simultaneously build strength in your hands while you're doing your push-ups, making this even more efficient for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to move the hands down, and then you're going to perform your push-ups nice and slow with the hands lower. And what will happen as you do this, you'll be able to feel a difference in pectoral engagement. So do a push-up, come up, and just hold it there and take your hand and feel your pecs. You can feel the engagement here versus putting your hands higher, okay? I'm gonna put them higher as in a standard push-up position, and I can feel the engagement throughout the front deltoids. I can feel it in my pecs, but not to the same degree as when I bring my hands down a little lower. I can feel the engagement in my pecs to a much higher degree with my hands down lower. So that's how I'd like to see you do your wall push-ups so you get the biggest benefit. Now what you're going to do, you're going to perform your repetitions nice and slow, pushing yourself up, obviously right back down, pushing yourself up. A certain pace or cadence is not important as long as the exercise is slow and controlled. And what's gonna happen is get a little stronger, just step back a little bit further, makes the exercise a little bit harder. As you step back further, hands down a little bit lower. Now, okay, so you're performing your wall push-ups. When you can do, say, 8 to 12 reps at a certain distance from the wall, move the feet back a little further, and then work until you can get 8 to 12 reps. Once that is too easy for you, then what you're gonna do is you're going to take your push-ups to an elevated surface, and you're gonna work elevated surface to a slightly less elevated surface to a slightly less elevated surface. Each time you drop in elevation, it's going to simulate adding more weight to a bar, for example, in a bench press. So each drop in elevation of the hands is gonna increase the intensity or the total amount of weight that the upper body is pushing, the total amount of weight that the plank is holding. And then what's gonna happen is, as you slowly go down, 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 eventually you're doing them on the floor. That's the way I suggest you go from absolute beginner who cannot perform a single push-up, all the way through to being able to rep high quality push-ups on the ground. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, hit subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss anything that I post, and thank you for supporting my content.